Hey, how's it going? How is everyone? I can't see you all. Let me check this out. Welcome. I love it. Welcome everyone. Thanks for being here. Nah, Gail, how's it going? Natasha, how you doing? Who else we got here? Naomi. Great to see you guys. Alex. I have a feeling my audio was on, so you would have got to hear me going pop, 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 clicking away and doing some work, getting ready to give you guys a really good session, have some fun. So welcome. So yeah, it is hot, right? Alex, my God, it's yeah, if you see some beads of sweat coming out here, that's just because it's so hot here. I think it's about 34 degrees at the moment, which is super good. Yeah, nice. Excellent. Good to hear. All right. So today's session is going to be pretty awesome. We're going to be covering up quite a fair bit of stuff. I'm going to be giving you guys a massive intro into what you're about to go through for the next 12 weeks. And it will be fun. It will be very intense. It'll be very, very exciting. And I know a lot of you are going to get a lot of different things out of it for yourself. And the great thing about that is we're all here for what we're here for. We're all here for different things. And the good thing about that is what we're about to go through caters to so many different areas. So many different areas in life, whether it's health, business, wealth, finance, career, what else is there? Spirituality, relationships. A lot of what we're going through is about you owning your personal power of yourself, you owning who you are, and then being able to deliver the best you have within here, the best you have within yourself into the world to be able to achieve the things you want to achieve in life. So that's kind of exciting. It's very exciting. And I'm really looking forward to being able to go through this journey with you and spend the time, really humbled to be able to, spend the next 12 weeks with a lot of you and get some, kick some really big goals. So what I want to pre-frame and I want to let you know is that I want to make sure that you're in a mental headspace in order to be able to create a big goal this week or big goal right now. Be able to come up with a goal over the, whether it's now in the next hour or over the next 24 hours, something that would make this, 12 weeks really impactful for your life. Make it where, over the next 12 weeks, if you were to achieve this goal, you would literally change your life. You would change so much about it. So being in that place, as we go through this content, as we go through the things where we might bring some stuff up, I want you to note down what you're going through and what you really need to achieve in order to be able to overcome that stuff. So again, welcome. So happy to be here with you. We haven't gotten stuck into it yet. We're getting started now. How many do we have on here? Let's check this out. We've got a few people jumping on. Perfect. All right. So what I want to do is I just want to check. Can everyone hear me? Hello there. Audio and visual. Yay, Natasha. That's cool. 100%. Alex, great to hear. Naomi can hear. Perfect. Perfect. Now, I just want to check when I do this. When I do this here, when I click this button, which is hiding, when I click that button, do you lose the visual? Can you see me? Can't see you. Perfect. Pickaboo. Now can you see me? It's kind of cheesy, but hey, it's fun to have some fun, right? All right, perfect. So let's just cover some housekeeping before we get started. One thing I want to note is we have a Facebook group with Alchemy, and the Facebook group is going to be amazing for you guys. It's going to be a really good touch point to spread your questions. A lot of people think that they're going to get a lot from being here live, and you will. You certainly will. Although you're also going to get a lot from the Facebook group, because I'm going to urge you to ask questions as we're going through this, as you're bringing stuff up and you have questions around what you're going through. As you're going through what you're going through, you want to be able to post them so then we can answer them. We can support you even more. You will have a coach. For those who have a coach, you will have a coach. And for a lot of people, you're getting a lot of coaching with that coach. So the good thing about it is they're going to support you through this journey. They're going to support you through your understanding of what you're going through, your understanding of how you're getting through this information, but also how you're ingraining that, how you're becoming a part of the information and letting the information become a part of you. That's a very important part. So know that the webinars are going to be great because there'll be a lot of content that we can cover, a lot of information. You'll get a lot of learnings from here, although it's also in the Facebook group and the coaching where you'll get a lot more out of as well. Now, I want to note another thing with the Facebook group is we're going to be going through a lot of tasks. Now, for those who have been through the 21-day breakthrough to success, it's kind of cool. I love how Calvin does it. It's like nonstop all the time. This is going to be not so much as intense. There will still be homework. There'll still be a lot that you have to do. There'll be a lot that you have to uncover, although this now is going to be tailored more towards you inside here, what you can deliver and grow and change with. I'm going to teach you some cool tools and strategies that you can use in your life day in and day out that you can literally shift your mindset with all the time, whenever. So I just want you to note that being really important is really important. very important. Facebook group, very important. The other thing is with the Facebook group is it's there to support each other. Now, one thing I want to note is when you're in life, every now and then we might slip up. Let's say I set a goal that I'm going to give up. Well, I don't smoke, but let's just say I'm going to give up smoking. And I set a goal. And I say this because this is where people usually relapse a lot. Let's say I set a goal, I'm going to give up smoking. And let's say after 6 weeks, I walk into a room and there's a bunch of my buddies, they're having cigarettes. And I'm like, me personally, I don't really know what that feels like. But they go, oh, that feeling's really good. I might have one. And they slip up and they have a cigarette. Now, that's not losing. That's not failure. That's a lesson that, okay, cool. Maybe there's something else you need to do in order to be able to grow, to be able to change. So that's just a slip up. It's not failure. You can't, for those who do it on a diet, when they're on a diet and they go on this really healthy diet and then all of a sudden they eat a cupcake and they think, that's it, the whole diet's over. I give up. That's it. I quit. And then they go back and eat, some hot chips and they go have some really, dirty food. That's not saying that that cupcake was failure. That's just saying that, cool, okay, cool. You've done that. Maybe reassociate it, learn from it, and then don't do it again. So that's what the support is with the group. Support each other in your growth. Support each other with what you need to achieve in order to get your outcomes. Support. If somebody posts that they're having a tough day, that's cool. Let's back them up. Hot shit. Yeah, whatever, buddy. Support them on their journey. So that means they can keep the momentum going because nobody's perfect. And nobody, even myself, nobody's perfect where they're always going to produce the same behaviors. It's like I train a lot. I go to the gym 5, 6, 7 days a week. But there's still some weeks where, I plan now where I'm not going to go to the gym. Why? Because we need a balance. We need to be balanced. And we're going to fight for that balance. We're going to create that balance over the next 12 weeks. One thing I also want to note is, I just mentioned it before a little bit, was you're going to have a coach. So for those of you who have been through previous trainings where you've had a coach with us, it can be kind of intense. The coach can be there, support you, and giving you tasks and helping you along that journey. You're going to have one if you've paid for that here, if you're on that journey here, if you're one of the premium subscriptions. You're going to have that coach, and that coach is going to be surmountable for you. He's going to be absolutely imperative. She might be, if it's a he or she, imperative towards you and your growth because they're going to be there. They've been through these trainings. They know this information, and they can help you either A, with understanding the information, because sometimes it might get a little heavy. For some people, different learning capabilities, it might be very heavy. Some people might get this stuff straight away. Either way, that coach is going to be there supporting you through understanding what this is. So the big thing about it is complete your work, join in, participate. Make sure you participate. If we're going live on Facebook, if somebody goes on live on Facebook, give them a cheer. Yeah, you're doing a great job. If I'm on there saying, hey, Aaron, you look really good. Don't do that. But support each other. Be there for each other. Be there for your growth. Most of all, be there for yourself in what you need to get out of this for the next couple of weeks. All right. So one thing I want to mention is a lot of people here, as I did say before, a little bit, for different reasons. Some people are here in business and they want to be able to go, cool, how do I master my mindset? How do I re-gauge and retweak and reprogram my mind? So that means I can use my mind in a place where I can move towards the things I want to move towards. Like if struggling in business for cash flow, it's like, okay, cool. Maybe my mindset isn't right in doing the right activity in order to get more cash flow. Or maybe I'm feeling blocked, or maybe I'm sabotaging myself by maybe not doing the things that I need to do because I don't like them. And you need to change that. You might need to change that. I don't like making sales calls. So instead of just not doing them and letting your business slowly go down and decrease in sales, you might reprogram how you feel about sales so you can be really motivated to get stuck into sales. You might be in health and you might find it really hard to get motivated to go to the gym. And what we're going to do for the next 12 weeks is retweak that motivation, retweak your reasons why you go to the gym, your beliefs around the gym, or maybe it just might be health in general, where it might be a diet and eating healthy. But retweak your beliefs around it, your values around it, what you feel is important to you with that through what we go through. Career is the same thing. You can get stale in a career. Relationships huge. Like how many times you've been in a relationship where you actually felt like you've been stuck inside that relationship? And it's like, it's not that you want to leave the relationship, but it's like, I can't be free within myself inside this relationship. Right now, we're going to find that self. So that means you can be you. Be the leader of you so you can harness who you want to be in life, and then you can charge through life making a difference, making money, making whatever it is, becoming more spiritual. Cool. So that's what we're going to do. Spend a good 12 weeks going through it. Love the hustle. Love hustling. Get that hustle in it. Be the spiritual hustler if you want to. Otherwise, just be the hustler. Whatever you want to be. Just be that person who loves everyone. Who cares? Just be what you want to be. That's all we're here for. All right. Now, let me cover off. Let me give you a little bit more detail. So over the next 12 weeks, we're going to go through 7 main pillars. How many? 7 main pillars. So 7 main pillars. The first one we're going to go through is mindset. And just to pre-frame this, the 7 main pillars are designed in a way where you can take full ownership of your life. You can literally, I love this, self-mastery, life mastery, where you can literally harness who you are, harness your beliefs around the world, harness where you're losing your personal power, harness your values, alignment in life, where you can harness that. We're going to go through all of that, and then we're going to tie it off at the very end of it with how you can accelerate your goals, accelerate your results. So if you've got a goal that you want to set for the next 6 months, and I urge you in a moment, not yet, to get some goals set. Though if you have that goal for 6 months, we'll show you how you can do it even quicker. Now, so the first one's mastering your mindset, or mindset mastery. That's today. So we're going to go through how you can lose a lot of your personal power, but more so how you communicate with yourself in the world, where it all comes from, so then you can start to understand what we're going to tweak over the next 12 weeks. Today, we want to open up a lot of stuff. This week's going to be a lot about awareness and finding awareness in yourself. That's mindset mastery. Over the next few weeks, then we'll go through how to know thyself. So we want to go through you knowing yourself in detail, so you can know yourself better than you've ever possibly known yourself. We want to go through your deep filters. So at that point, when we can start to, like today, find the patterns that we're doing that aren't serving us, we then want to know, okay, what type of person are we? So then we know how we can either change it to match the person we are, or if not, shift the person we are, so then we can be the person I want to be. If you're somebody who finds that you're really shy in groups, what we want to do is we want to be able to harness that and go, okay, well, if you want to become not so shy and you want to become more, I don't know, of an extrovert, you want to love people and have people love you and be able to like just be really out there and extravagant when you're with others. Cool. Maybe we need to go through and find out what are the capabilities that you need. What are the beliefs that you need to have? What are the values? What's important to you in order to be that person who you want to be? We're going to go through that. Firstly, though, we need to understand who you are. After that, we then want to go through emotional control. Because for a lot of people, they get stuck in that place of not having control of their emotions to be able to deliver the person who they want to be. Give me an example. I'll give you an example. If you're someone who finds that they want to have more confidence in life, but you're held back from the fear of people not liking you, the fear of rejection, that's going to prevent you from being that person a lot of the times. If you have a point or a purpose or a chance in life where you can voice your opinion and you're afraid of what people are going to think of you, if you do voice your opinion, in that moment, you will hold yourself back a lot of the time. Sometimes you might have a comment and be like, blah, and then just say whatever comes out. But if you want to be in a place where you have balance in your life, in a place where you can go, okay, cool, I'm currently here, but for me to truly be able to express what I want to say, I can't feel these feelings of fear, anger, sadness, hurt, or guilt. I need to wipe them out. I need to have control of them so my balance can be logic. My balance can be in a place where I can communicate what's in my heart, what's in my mind effectively without being controlled by, those seriously sweats. And I don't know if I'm going to start sweating soon. It's super, super cool here. Cool, warm. After that, in the fourth part, so this is now pillar 4, we're going to go through rewiring the beliefs. Say it again, Aaron. Rewiring the beliefs. Got it out. So we're going to rewire the beliefs. Now, that's going to be a big, big week for some. I know the emotional part will be big for some, but beliefs are huge for some. So we're going to go through rewire them. So that means you can harness and use your beliefs to make the things you want to happen in life. It's going to be super fun, super cool. After that, in pillar 5, we'll be going through your personal alignment. So we're actually going to look at what's most important to you in life as you, not others, but you, and then how you can have that in alignment. So therefore you can move towards the things you want to move towards. See, a lot of people get stuck in patterns where, let's say, for example, let me just make sure I can see myself here so you can see it all. Let's say, for example, here's broke for me and here's, comfortable. A lot of people go through life thinking, I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be broke. So that motivates them to work. That motivates them to save money. But then they get to a point where they're no longer broke. They get over to here to where they're comfortable and the motivation dies. I'm going to show you how you can then flick that motivation. So by the time you hit your goal, you're already looking at the next goal. Very powerful stuff. It's going to be very powerful in you being able to go, cool, how do I get from one goal to the next and to the next and so forth, keep moving forward. And then in pillar 6, we're going to go through how to take massive action. So how do you wake up on fire? How do you get to points where, you might be sitting there, you're like, I might get caught in the boss's office, or I might have to walk into a big business deal. And how do you keep that point in you where you're like, boom, you know what? I own this. I've got this. I'm in control of this. And you can just go, boom, hit it on fire. We're going to go through that. That'll be towards the end. And then lastly, it's how to accelerate your results, how to accelerate success, how to do things twice as quick, how to cut the time from you going from I will have a goal and I've achieved a goal. How do you cut that down? That's going to be very, very powerful. I'm really looking forward to that. But let's go firstly. So firstly, we want to look at mindset mastery. And that's a big part, because without having the mindset right, without having your thinking, how you talk to yourself, how you communicate with yourself in the world, without having that right, it's going to be very hard to be able to create those goals. It's going to be very hard to be able to communicate with those beliefs and then change them, shift them, rearrange them. Same with the emotions. So mindset mastery this week is all about understanding what's going on in your mind. What's going on in your mind, and then what is that creating in your life? You know, what is the thinking that you have creating in your life from behavior's point of view? So if I'm currently thinking, let's say I'm in business, and this is why this is so important. If I'm currently in business and I'm thinking, you know, everything's so hard, business always has to be hard, I have to work hard to make money. The way you speak to yourself there creates that behavior. Now, if you truly believe you have to work hard in business to make money, you will work hard in business to make money. If you think that health is hard, if you think that, you know, I don't like eating foods, if you think that, you know what, I can't do it. They can, I can't. I just don't have the motivation. If you have somebody say to you that you can't be thin, you can't lose weight, you can't be healthy, you can't eat healthy food, and you believe that, in that moment, you're giving away your personal power. But have you ever noticed that the people who are most motivated, like especially in your wealth, the people who really go from, you know, step to step to step, from goal to goal to goal, and achieve massive outcomes, they're from a place where they're not out there blaming. They're from a place where they're out there just going, cool, this is currently happening. And I like to refer to this as flow. And I actually think a lot of people miss what flow is. But I think that's flow of being able to, cool, no matter what happens, happens. Although what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually utilize my personal power. I'm going to utilize this situation to be able to move through it to get to the next. You know, especially in relationships. You know, a lot of people suffer in relationships because in the relationship, my partner always has the problem. Like everything they do is the fault. And that's why our relationship sucks, opposed to be able to sit there and saying, cool, how can I take ownership? If I want them to love me more, how can I love them more? And that's a big thing, because if you can harness that, if you, especially within yourself, especially with your clients, if you're in business, if you can harness that, you're putting yourself instead to be able to really, really drastically change your world, change your business, your life, your relationship, whatever it is. So one of the big things is being able to understand cause and effect. And I've got a slide for you here that I'm gonna put up. So I won't be able to see the chats in a second. So if you have any questions, feel free to post them as we go, and I'll pump through them as we go through this. All right, let me get my slide, because I think it's really important to understand that when we go through, shit, I nearly stopped it. That would have been close. When we go through these experiences in life, and we're sort of suffering from a place where, you know what, if you're not going to take ownership of who you are and what you're doing, then it's going to be very hard to be able to create alignment. It's going to be very hard to be able to shift beliefs. So check this out. When it's ready. When it's ready. There we go. Cool. A little bit slow. So big thing is to have empowerment in life. Empowerment, what do I mean by empowerment? So have empowerment in life where you literally take control of who you are. You take control of the things that are going on in life. You've got two sides you can sit on. And one side is cause and one side is effect. And for some of you may have seen this, and you will see this, because I know every time I do a training, I always cover this off, whether I'm doing a training for my intro nights, or whether I'm doing a training for my high-end coaching clients. I'm always covering this because there's always another level to go to. We're going to go as far as we need to go in this session right now. Though the big thing is this is literally the foundation of who you are. Are you at cause or are you at effect? Somebody who's at effect is usually somebody who places blame on things. Oh, I'm really good with that tonight, right? The big thing about it is if you're in a relationship, right? And in that relationship, you find that your partner's always doing something wrong to cause things to go wrong in your relationship. In that moment, you're going to be giving away your personal power to be able to feel what you want to feel. So let's say, for example, my partner comes home and she shouts at me. She shouts at me. Actually, I'm going to give you a real life example. This morning I woke up and my dog had, used our couch as the toilet. And I was getting ready for this webinar and stuff. And I was like, yeah, can't wait. And then I walked down there and boom. Now somebody at effect, they could sit there and blame the dog. They could blame the puppy for what they've done and say, you did this wrong. You shouldn't have done that. Right now, then and there, I'm letting that puppy, I'm letting that dog affect my feelings, affect my emotions, affect my thoughts, instead of owning who I am and then controlling who I am so then I can deal with it as I need to deal with it. So in that moment, In effect, somebody can be just going, that's it, I'm blaming the dog, and they might run over and they might smack the dog, which is, not really cool, because guess what? The dog probably forgot about it already. So in that way, they're giving it away. If they're in business, and in business, they're actually going, you know what? I can't do this. I'm not allowed to do this. I couldn't do this. Somebody said that this is going to be hard. I won't be able to. And in that process, they're giving away their personal power of who they are, what they need to give to, and they're blaming people. If their client comes in and says, I want X, Y, Z, and they're like, no, you can't have that because of all these reasons. In that moment, what they're doing is they're just pushing it away, opposed to being at a cause. Now, being at cause is giving you the power of saying, cool, this is currently happening. This is going to happen. What can I do to be different? What can I do? Not how can I blame someone? How can I put it onto somebody else? But how can I do something to be different? So let's say, for example, if you're on a health kick and you're like, cool, eating healthy, going to the gym, you're working out, you're going for walks, you're doing whatever you love in order to be healthy. If you're going through that momentum and then all of a sudden you don't get your result. So let's say you wanted to lose 20 kilos in 12 weeks, which is a super, super great effort. And you don't, and you only lose 10. And you say, that's it, that sucked. My trainer wasn't a good trainer. It was all because of them. My partner didn't support me with my diet, so it was because of them. And you blame all these people for you not losing the extra 10 kilos. In that moment, you're giving away massive amount of your personal power. What you want to be doing instead is you want to be sitting there going, cool, how do I do cause? Because cause is a little different. Let's say, for example, you're going to the gym and you're eating healthy and you only lose 10 kilos. And in that moment, you sit there and you say, okay, wonderful. I only lost 10 out of the 20, but what did I do? I did this, this, and this. Excellent. What didn't I do? Okay, because I didn't do this, that might have been the reason. Or maybe you could be sitting there saying, wonderful, now that I've learned these lessons, let me set another goal for the next 6 months to lose that 10 kilos or maybe lose more. Either way, you're coming from a place where you're creating solutions, you're working in flow. Now you could ask, what is, to me, the biggest meaning of flow? Flow is being able to harmoniously go through life and then do the things that you need to do as you're copying the things you cop. Because not everything's always going to go your way. I think we know that. A lot of us go through life and we're like, yeah, this is so smooth sailing right now. And then all of a sudden you get hit by a Mack truck. And in that moment, you're like, whoa, this got really hard. Life got really hard. Now, flow isn't about saying I'm not in flow anymore because before when everything was going right, I was fine, but now it's not. Flow is about saying, cool, this is currently happening. How can I flow through this effortlessly so I can get the outcomes that I need to get as quick as possible? Whether that's just love, money, sex, relationship, whatever that is. So a big thing we want to note is with cause and effect, our job in life is to be able to go through the motion of being able to move over from all the reasons that we have, all the reasons that cause us to be who we are, where we are, to the results of what we can create from them. Even if it's yourself, one caveat is a lot of people go, cool, well, what wonderful. I'm not going to blame that person for this happening in my life. I'll just blame me. And I don't know, have you ever seen someone do this? They sit there and call themselves an idiot. They might swear at themselves. They might sit there and really smash themselves in public. That's still a sign of effect as well. The funny thing about that is you're just at effect with yourself. To me, it's kind of twisted. The best thing you could sit there and say is, well, you know what? You did a great job. Let's move on. Opposed to you're crap. You could have done better. You failed. God, you suck. You're never going to get there. Stuff won't work. Our job is to move from the reasons. The reasons move from effect to cause. Move from the reasons to the results. That is empowerment. So if you get hit by the Mack truck, our job in life is to understand what we're going through so we can move to the next level. We can go, cool, how do we get through this in an easy way, in a way where we can still achieve the things we want to achieve? That's one big thing around cause and effect. My question to you in life, whether you're dealing with clients, because we have a couple of coaches coming through here as well, whether you're dealing with clients, what side of the fence are your clients sitting on? Are they sitting on the result side or are they blaming? And then in there, your job is to reframe, use the tools that we're about to go through over the next 12 weeks to help move them or move yourself over to the side of results. If you're using this on yourself and you're finding that cool, you're currently going through troubles in life, what aren't you taking ownership for? What can you take ownership for that when you change that, you can change the situation, change your thinking, change your life? So keep thinking of that. Whenever something goes wrong, what side of the fence are you sitting on? Are you on the result side or are you on the reason side? Because one of the big things is when we think about how we communicate with ourselves and the world, it comes down to our filters. A big part about this, and there's going to be some really good information here, but it comes down to our filters. And that those filters create our perception on who we want to be. Those filters create the perception of what people see in us. What's funny is that those filters also create in us what we see in others. Now that's kind of interesting, because when we think about what we're focusing on, a lot of that comes from different areas. Like we go through situations in life, you know, we might, you know, win the lotto, we might get a girlfriend, whatever, or a partner. Let's say we get a partner. And in that moment, a lot of what we're focusing on there is tailored around it. Sales, the same thing. You know, you might get, someone might say, cool, someone has to go and do sales. And a lot of what causes you to feel and act and behave the way you behave comes down to what's already currently going inside of you. We want to change that. Again, we want to know what's going on first. We want to know what's going on. But check this out. Some really good information here. So what happens is, let's say, for example, right, we're going through life and events happen. Now, an event might be something like winning the lotto, going through a first kiss, or 9/11 attacks. Let's just say, for example, it's our first kiss. That's kind of cute. Winning the lotto is good too, but let's go through our first kiss. What happens is, in our filters, we experience, through our filters, through our senses, we experience these situations. So visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory, and gustatory. One of the great things about these is when you think about who you truly are, when you think about who you truly are in life, they create your perception. They create what you see, how you experience it. And when they create how you experience it, you then go through that moment of going, okay, wonderful, I get it. Someone might be more visual, auditory, kinesthetic. Now, just to give a note, visual is looking through your eyes. Auditory is hearing. Kinesthetic is the feeling that you have. Olfactory and gustatory are then the tastes and smells. But what's interesting as we go through this, we're copying all this information at so many levels, and we delete, distort, and generalize a lot of that information. Out of there, that creates our internal representation. So this is the interesting part, because this is the part that we can work with. This is the part where we can change. So that means you can, laptop keeps dropping a bit. This is the part that we can change so you can truly harness who you are. Now, in this moment, your internal representations, they come from your beliefs, your meta programs, your values, they come from your attitudes, your behaviors. All that stuff is in there, not so much your behaviors, but all that stuff is in there, and that creates your state. So the state is the feeling that you feel when you go through life. Now, if you think of this, if you're about to have your first kiss, right? It's kind of exciting. You're walking on, you know, he's there, she's there, whoever that is, and you know, you sort of get feelings in your stomach. Now you think about, where does that feeling come from? Like, why is it that you choose to feel that feeling then and there? Same as winning the lotto. If you win the lotto and you get all excited and you jump around and you're like, whoa, this is so great. In that moment, you're gonna ask, where does that feeling come from? The same way, if somebody, I speak of sales a lot because I deal with a lot of people in sales, and they struggle because they're like, I'm not motivated to make sales. But you think of, where does that feeling, where do the beliefs come from when you can't make those sales, when you don't want to make those sales? What about going to the gym? If you're thinking, right, if let's say an event is you going to the gym, you eating healthy, like you walking into the takeaway shop and you walking over to the healthy section opposed to walking over to the, you know, the greasy section, you've got to ask what creates the difference in those feelings, because for a lot of people, it's going to be different. You know, if you're driven inside, like if all that internal representations, you know, your beliefs, your values, you know, what tastes good, what smells good, if all that's tailored towards being the fatty, smelly food, in that moment, it's going to be really hard for you to walk over to the healthy section. Kind of makes sense, right? What we want to do is we really want to tweak into what's going on there so then we can really push you forward so you can really create those things. Because what happens is when you go into that state, and let's go back to that thing of I walk into a takeaway shop and I'm about to go buy my lunch. And in that moment, I walk in and I've got this, I go, what do you do straight away? You know, whoa, that smells good. So there's my olfactory going off, smelling it. I'm like, whoa, that smells great. Whatever that is. For me, it's a lettuce leaf. You walk in there, you smell it, and you go, it smells great, so greasy and stuff. Now, in that moment, I get that feeling, ooh, this feels kind of good. And then what does that do? That creates my physiology. That creates my behavior of what? Walking over to maybe the not so healthy section, and in that moment, buying the food, which is unhealthy. And for a lot of people, that is literally wiring ourselves to repeat the same problems over and over again to expect a different result, but never get the different result. It continually creates the behavior that we go through the behavior that we don't want to achieve. Because for a lot of people, that first kiss might result in them getting a really good feeling of jumping around and all excited and going through life feeling great, doing what they do. Where instead, you might want to be, cool, I might be calm and collected, or you might win the lotto. And a lot of people, they win the lotto and they're like, yeah, let's go on holidays. Let's spend all our money. Let's make this, the best year ever. And then they get broke, or they buy too much. They buy too many things in life. They go and buy the boat. They go and buy the big house. And then they realize they can't pay for it with the amount of money that they're earning, opposed to what? A different behavior. If you learn different representations, if you learn how to master your mindset, you can then change that. So if you win the lotto, everybody, when you go win the lotto, if you win the lotto, don't buy tickets. If you're gonna do whatever you want to do, it's your life. If you win the lotto, you might be able to change those beliefs, change those internal representations, so you can do different behaviors. So that's going to be our big thing. Because my question to you is now, and what I want you to start think of, love it. My thing for you now is I want you to start thinking of your goal. So if you're watching this later, if you're watching this and it's not live, I want you to be thinking of your goal now. So by the time you finish this, you can write out a goal. And that goal is going to be what you want to achieve over the next 12 weeks. I want you to think of, if you could utilize this training, to achieve something in your life, something so big, it would literally transform your life forever. I want you to write that down. I want you to write it down. I want you to start mapping out your ideas. Now, here's a couple of things I want in order to be able, because there's going to be some tasks with this. You're going to have to post some things in the group, and then, I'm going to be live in the group later on this week so I can talk to you again. I'm going to keep checking in. You're going to have the coach checking in as well. So we're going to be on your back. We're going to be on your back, making sure you're doing the behaviors in order to get these goals. But here's the thing. Let me just take this down so you can see me. Stop sharing screen. Make me go there. Wonderful. Here's the thing. For you to achieve the goal, there's going to have to be a few things that you do in order to be able to get to that goal ASAP. To get to that goal in the quickest, most efficient way possible, where you don't lose and waste your time. Now, one of the things that you do is I want you to understand that you want to wipe out the current patterns that you're currently doing that are sabotaging your goal. Now, for some of you might be sitting there saying, duh, Aaron, that's why we came here. We're here so we can wipe out those patterns. Exactly. Now, what we want to do is we want to start to uncover what are those current things that you're playing with in life? What are the current things that are causing you those beliefs, those behaviors that you're doing that are causing you to not have that goal? Not have that goal. That's what I want you to start thinking about. So think about your goal. You came here for a reason. What did you come here for? Over the next 12 weeks, what do you need to achieve? What do you want to achieve in your life? Now, that's big. Start to write that down as you go. Now, as you write that, I want to give you a couple of cool tips. When you write this goal, firstly, I want you to write it like this. It starts off, it is now X, not X. X is the date in which you've achieved this goal. So it is now X. And with that, that's now starting to frame, and we're going to play around with this with a lot of language when we go through language around week 4-ish, when we go through it. The cool thing about the goal is you want to set the goal up as if it's now. So what we're doing is I'm slowly we'll go through this by the end of this course. I'm going to slowly start to teach you how to wrap an elastic band around that goal, so that goal actually drags you into it. So that means as you go through life and you hit hurdles, you hit speed humps, you hit walls, you hit Mack trucks, what you're going to do is, yeah, okay, cool, you're going to have to go through what you're going through there, but you can effortlessly move through it and around it and over it and under it, so you can keep moving towards your goal, opposed to getting sidetracked. So you'll find a lot of people, they lose their ability to hit their outcomes by getting sidetracked, by saying, oh, cool, this didn't work. Remember, it's like, going to the gym and then having the cupcake, being healthy and having the cupcake, and then all of a sudden you're like, cool, diet's over because I had a cupcake. Who cares? You had a cupcake. Keep going. This is what that's going to do. By having that goal as if it's now and being able to wrap the elastic band around it, is whenever something shifts, it's still going to keep driving you towards that goal, keep moving you in the direction of that goal. So it is now the date in which you've achieved the goal. And I have goal. Got that? It is now X date, and I have achieved the goal. Now, something I want to note about the goal is when you're setting this goal, we're going to go through goals in a lot more detail later on. They're setting the goal, you want to make sure you're really associated into this goal. Really associated into this goal. What do I mean by associated? I mean that if you have a goal of, I want to go traveling. Some people like traveling. Who likes traveling in their life? If you like traveling, Type yes in the chat. Type that yes in the chat if you like traveling. And if you do, also type in where you want to travel to next. But let's say you want to go travel. And let's say that I said to you, how do you know when you're traveling? How do you know when you're traveling? How do you know that you've started that holiday? How you've started that point in traveling? I've just got a mate of mine. I think he's doing Europe and South America for the next 2 years. It's kind of cool, right? So how do you know when you're traveling? And I had to ask him this question when we were at the gym one day. I was like, buddy, so how do you know when you're literally in that moment when you're like, cool, it's on? And he said, you know what? It's kind of interesting. He said, it's the day before. It's my last day at work, because it's that last day at work that I know that it's now on. Tomorrow it starts. Or I know for other people, it's like, well, I don't know I'm on holidays until I'm there. I have to actually be at the place that I'm at. I have to be at the venue where I am, and that's when I know that I'm there. So if I'm going to, Fiji, I have to be on the beach in Fiji or landing on the plane, entering Fiji to go, now I'm on holidays. For other people, it's when they're on the plane. What the point here is, what is your goal? And then how do you know when you have it? Like, how will you know when you have it? If your goal is to sign up, let's say, 5, 6 people into your network marketing business. My question to you is, how will you know when you have it? Are you looking in your back office and you're looking at, the little chart of, the whole pyramid thing, the little chart of people and where they're sitting, and you can see 5 people there that you've sponsored? Is it your health? And, I want to lose 20 kilos. Cool. Well, do you have that goal of what you will look like? What you will look like when you've lost that 20 kilos? That's going to be the prerequisite, because if you have that and you can keep that focus, that's what's going to drive you towards it. If you want to be more spiritual and your goal is to get spiritual enlightenment, you want to be able to sit there and for days on end, how would you know when you have it? Do you have to get through the end of the 11-day silence, or is it that you have to be going there? And then when you get that, I want you to get a visual. And now with that visual, I want you to step into the visual, looking through your own eyes, the image that you see in your mind's eye, and I want you to start to play around with the image. If it's colorful, make it more colorful. If there's feelings in there, make it so those feelings are 10 times more compelling, so they're driving you towards it. See, this is your anchor. This is what's going to drag you into it, being able to make sure that goal is compelling for you. Like, let's say, for example, I had a goal of putting X amount of dollars in my bank account. And then every time I look at my bank account, all I complain about is how empty it is. And I'm never experiencing, I'm never in that moment where my bank account can be where it is. This is why a lot of people say, live as if you have it. But what I want to do is shift that. So if your goal is money over the next, or a job, let's just say money over the next 12 weeks, and you want to earn X amount of money and put it in your bank account, what you want to be doing is you want to go, cool, what's that amount? Cool, it is now 12 weeks from this start date, and I have X, Y, Z dollars in my bank account. And now you want to get the visual of looking at your bank account and seeing it in there. How will you know when you have it? At that point, you want to turn it up. What's that feeling you get? What are the sounds? What are people saying to you when you've achieved it? What's your husband saying to you, your wife saying to you, when you've shown them that you can build your network marketing business and that you can get the results and you hit the goals? What are they saying to you? How does that make you feel? They're the feelings you want to play around with. It might be, I want to start eating the healthy salads. Cool. How am I going to feel? You don't want to sit there and go, I'm looking at the healthy salad and I'm being like, oh shit, I'm eating a healthy salad. This sucks. You want to be looking at the healthy salad going, you know what? This tastes great. It's amazing. It's fueling my body. I feel so good because of this. If you get those feelings, if you get those words, that's going to make it most compelling. So big thing is 12-week goal. Then you want to be able to sit there and say, it is as of now, and I have achieved X. Now with that X part, you want to know, what is your evidence procedure? How do you know you have it? How will you know you've achieved it? At that point, you get the visual and you hold on to that visual. Because when you write this goal down, I want you to post this in the group, because I'm keen to see all your goals so I can sit there and put your goals into my future. Can you really do that? Oh, you can. So I want to help you through with these goals. I want to project these goals with you and make sure that we're both moving in alignment to your goals. How cool is that, right? You've got me working with your goals as well. Say yes if you love that. Love that stuff. So what's cool about it is we're going to be moving towards your goal. I want you to post that into the group when you've written that goal in the next 24 hours. So that means we can all start to move towards your goal. We can all support you to your goal. Other cool thing is, now we're going to look at what are the things in life that are stopping you from your goal. Now this is really, really important. Very important, because there's behaviors, there's patterns that we're playing, that we're doing, that are making us lose our personal power in order to achieve our goal. So if you're in a place where you're not getting the results you want to get in life, you got to ask yourself, where are you blaming? You know, where are you blaming things outside of yourself? Where are you blaming yourself? Yo, I can't meet people because I'm too shy. Guess what? That's still blaming. That's affect. My question to you is, what can you do different in order to get that goal? What can you do different in order to maybe not be so shy? What can you do different to meet more people? How can you know yourself better? Okay, that's why you came here. How can you know yourself better so you can actually do the things that you're good at while you're going towards your goal? So I want you to think about where you're losing your personal power. Here's number one. Number one is where you're losing your personal power. Because where you're losing your personal power is a very, very, very big part of why you're not achieving that goal if you haven't already. Or if you've continually tried to achieve it and you haven't, you can ask, where are you losing your personal power? Where are you blaming yourself? Remember, you blaming yourself is still at effect. Me saying that I'm not good enough for it is still at a form of effect because I'm blaming myself for not having it. You know what's interesting about that? Let's get some warped minds here a little bit. Even when you're at effect, you're still at cause because you're still making the choice in order to choose that you're not good enough for it. In order to choose that you're going to be at effect. It's kind of interesting, right? So either way you can go, well, Aaron, you know, I'm still at a cause anyway because I'm choosing to, you know, not be good at this, or I'm choosing to fail at this, or I'm choosing to give up. Either way, I'm cool with it. I'm happy with it. Just put down your goals so we can both get them for you. Big thing is, where are you losing your personal power? Now, I want you to write three things that you're currently doing where you're losing your personal power. Write that down. 3 things you're currently doing that you're losing your personal power. So yes, we want the goal. Number 1 is I want a goal. We want to write the goal for the next 12 weeks. Secondly, 3 things that you're currently doing that are making you lose your personal power. Your personal power is your guidance. It's your life. It's what it is. It's your essence. It's your fire. Your personal power is what's going to get you there. You know, one of the big things in life is if we lose our personal power, and this is why I'm a big fan of leadership. This is why I trained NLP. This is why I love going through masters, speakers, and beyond, way beyond NLP, just because the simple fact that personal power is so powerful. And it's not about you saying, because leadership is, you know, being a leader. It's not about you saying you have to lead everyone. You have to lead every situation. It's about you saying, how do you be a leader of yourself? How do you harness your inner person so that means you can choose to do the things you want to do? See, I'm not sitting here saying that, you know, every time somebody says to you, jump, that you say, no, I'm not going to jump because I'm a leader. Your job is to sit there and say, well, do I feel like jumping? Am I in a place of jumping right now? So that means I can truly take control of my life. If you're in a relationship and you want to own your personal power in your relationship, it's not about saying that I have to lead my partner. It's about saying that how do you do what you want to do in your life so you can be happy? See, if your partner says to you, we're going to dinner tonight, we're going to eat Thai food, and you're like, well, I don't really like Thai food. It's not about you fighting about it. It's about saying, well, you know, do I really want Thai food? And then maybe having a conversation about what you can eat instead. See, it's about being able to have harmonious conversations where you can mutually create a life together, not be dictated to. Big difference there. So it's not about being combative. It's not about arguing. And after probably week 3 here, or after a couple of weeks here, you're going to have a really big insight into personalities and human behavior on a really big level. We're going to go through a beautiful topic. But it's about going, how do you communicate your message in a way where you're just being authentic to yourself? You're being real. You're being honest. You're speaking your truth. Now, that comes from not being emotionally stuck down in blaming others and owning your personal power. Huge part of that. Huge part of that. Huge part of that. All right, so what do we got? First one is you're going to write up a goal. We've only got a couple of minutes left. A little bit. Got a goal. We want your goal written. Secondly, we want 3 things or 3 areas of your life where you're losing your personal power. I want these more of where you're blaming other people, where you're blaming circumstances outside of yourself in which you're living the life you're going to live. Let's say, for example, you're trying to get a job and you're saying, I can't get a job for all these reasons that are outside of you. What my question to you would be on our first time, my first question would be, well, what could you do differently to change your situation? Like, what could you do differently to change your situation? That's kind of interesting, right? What could you do differently to change your situation, to change your life, to change your experience, to get a different outcome? Not what are you currently doing that's giving you the same outcome? What could you do differently? Because when you ask that question, that sort of leads you in a different area. That leads you into an area where you can start to go, you know what? What could I do differently? So let's say I'm trying to get a job and, you know, I think everyone's better than me because they're just getting the jobs over me and people don't want to hire me because I look a certain way, I feel a certain way, I jump up a certain way, I speak a certain way. My question is, what could you do differently in order to get a different outcome? Because when you start to think about that, now you're thinking outside the problem. Now you're thinking outside the box. because the box is the problem. Getting stuck in the box is where a lot of people get stuck in life. Getting stuck in, that comfort of being in the same place over and over again. That's the box. We want to get out of the box. We want to get into life. We want to enjoy life. We want to be passionate and loving and caring, and we want to be able to help people, make money, make changes. We want to be the person we want to be. So when I ask you that question, which I'm about to ask you now, I then want you to write down 3 things that you need to do. Actually, firstly, I want you to write 3 things. Rip that box apart. Damn right. I want you to write down 3 things that you're currently doing. So yes, you want to have 3 areas where you're losing your personal power, where you're blaming others. Now, I want you to write down 3 activities that you're doing, 3 behaviors that you're playing that aren't serving you in getting your goal. Now, I'll give you an example of this. Let's say your goal at the moment is to be able to get X amount of people into your network marketing business. And I think that's an amazing goal. You should do it. And you go, cool. And I said to you, cool, what are you currently doing that's not working? Like, well, I need to speak to 5 people a week and I'm speaking to none. So now we know that there's one behavior that you're currently doing or not doing that's making you not get that goal. And that is, I'm not speaking to people. So if I was to say, what are 3 things that you're currently doing that aren't supporting you hitting your goal? That'd be one of them. I'm not speaking to people. Okay, let's say you want to get healthy. I want to get healthy and I want to feel great. Like I want to feel amazing. I want to get healthy, I want to feel amazing. Cool. What are the 3 things that you're doing or you're not doing that are stopping you from getting that outcome? And you go, well, Aaron, I'm not really eating healthy. Perfect. So there's 1. You're not eating healthy. I'm not really exercising. Yeah, okay, cool. Now you're looking at 2. And the other thing is I really don't think I'm worth it. That's a big one for some people. I don't think I'm worth having the health. I don't think I'm worth feeling good in myself. So that means I can give that to others. I can love others. There you go. There's another big one. So you'd be writing your 3 things are something along the lines of I'm not eating healthy. I'm not eating the right foods. You might even go even further down to I'm not shopping to buy the right foods. Or maybe I'm in my family. In my family. You are in the family. Maybe in your family, they eat a lot of junk food. And, you find it really hard, the willpower, which we can change that over the next couple of weeks. You find it really hard to have the willpower to not go down that journey of eating the yuck food. Whatever that is, what are the 3 things that you're currently doing that aren't supporting you in achieving your goal? So first one is, where are you losing your personal power? Second one is, what are the 3 things you're doing that aren't supporting your goal? We want to change them. Maybe there might be beliefs. What is the belief that you have? I can't have it. I'm not good enough. What are 3 things that you're currently doing that are stopping you, preventing you from having that goal? And then now the third thing is, what are 3 things that you need to do to get the goal? Remember, first one, let me make this in a good way where it's understandable. Your first task is to write out your goal and post it on the group. Your second task is to write out where are the three areas that you're losing your personal power. Write that out, post it in the group. Third one is, what are the 3 things in life that you're doing that aren't supporting your goal? So what are the 3 behaviors that you're currently doing or that you're not doing that aren't supporting your goal? And then the fourth one is to sit there and write, what are 3 things that you're going to do instead? See, this is how we're going to track you. This is how we can keep you accountable. We need to know what you need for those who I've coached throughout certain parts of their life. That's the biggest thing that I do. I find out exactly what you need to do to get your outcome. And then I keep you accountable to it. Now, if you're finding you're not doing it, our job is to tweak your mind, tweak your motivation, tweak your beliefs. So that means we can get you to that point where you keep doing it consistently. If you keep doing the things consistently that are going to create the results you want, it's going to be very hard to not get the results you want. But if you keep doing the behaviors that are stopping you from getting the results that you want, it's going to be very easy for you to get stuck in a place where you get the results that you don't want. So what are the 3 things that you need to do to try to hit your goal? What are the 3 things that you need to do? Now, this will become more over time, but what are the 3 main things that you need to do to hit your goal? What do you need to do per day? What do you need to do per week, per month, per quarter, up until the 12 weeks? So that means you can hit your goal. Now, lastly, this is the last task that I have for you. We're going to be having some questions in a moment. So this is going to be the big task for you. Read your goal every morning. Every morning when you wake up, you're going to get a few tasks to do in the morning. I'm a big fan of morning routines. We'll probably play around with morning routines, and I'm happy to share mine with you. By the time, if you're watching this later, it might have changed. Feel free to message me and ask what my morning routine is now. The morning routines are a very powerful part of your life, because if you can set yourself up for a great day, you will really likely have a great day. Even if you don't set yourself up for a great day, you can still have a great day, but one of the best ways to start the day is setting yourself up for a great day. So what I want you to do is when you wake up in the morning, I want you to have that goal written. I want you to read it. I want you to read it. And it's like this. It is X date, and I have X goal, and it feels great. And you get that feeling like, yeah, it feels really good. It's now X day, and I have, so it's, let's just say it's a health goal for me. It's now January the 10th, X year, whatever year it is you're in. And I feel absolutely amazing knowing that I've achieved the body that I wanted to have. I achieved the health, the energy. I'm creating my own energy within my body. It feels amazing. And I feel great. And I'm so proud of what I've done. That's a goal. And every morning you wake up doing that. Now, if you're focusing on that every morning, it's going to be kind of hard for you to not move in that direction. It's going to be hard for you to walk into the takeaway shop and order different food other than what's going to serve you on that goal. All right, let's tie this up because it's a beautiful day. Wherever you are in the world, doing what you're doing right now. What are our 5 tasks? 5, right in front of my face, 5. Number 1 is write a goal. Write that goal. Write it out and post it in the group. Post it in our group because we're going to support you. I'm going to put that out there in my future. I'm going to put it out in one. You're going to put it out in your future later. Although, what is that goal? Secondly, where are you losing your personal power? Thirdly, what are the 3 behaviors that you're doing in life that aren't supporting you in getting your goal? Fourthly, what are 3 things that you need to do instead to achieve your goal? What are 3 things you need to do to be able to achieve that goal? And then lastly, every morning when you wake up, read your goal. Read your goal. Now I'm going to give you a video in a couple of days, and I'm going to show you how to put that goal in your future. It's going to be a really cool induction. It's going to be like a meditation. If you don't meditate, it's not like a meditation. It's different. But if you meditate and you like meditation, it's like a meditation. And what I want you to do is I want you to write that. Sorry, I want you to go through that, and that's going to put that goal into your future. I will do it now, although we just don't have time. And sometimes you might want to do it in. I like to record it so then you can do it in your own space. Like you might be the type of person when you wake up and you like meditating in the morning. It's a great time to do it. The induction then is great. But what I want you to do is I want you to understand that when you have that for life. Every time you want to put a goal in your future, you can use that whenever you choose. It'll always be there. And then when you get to the point where you can do it without actually having to hear it, and you can just do it out there, what you'll find is that as you go through life, you're always putting your goals out. You're always creating moments in life where that you're wrapping that elastic band around what you want to achieve and where you are now, and you just drag yourself towards that goal. Drag yourself towards it. So it's going to be very hard not to achieve it. One of the big things, just to recap what we've covered, your personal power is how you're going to move through life in order to get your goal. If you want to live in flow, if you know what flow is, if you don't know what flow is just being able to go through life in a place of being able to create and achieve the things that you want to achieve. Even if you're not achieving the things you want to achieve, you're still moving through it in a way where you're effortlessly moving through life, and you're not really blaming things. You're just accepting things as they are and going towards the things that you want. That's a big part of life. Live at cause. If something happens in your life, if you're moving towards your goal and you slip up or something, it's okay. Be at cause. Okay, wonderful. I'm at cause right now. I've slipped up. That didn't work. Cool. I've learned that didn't work. Me getting the cupcake isn't supporting me on my goal. Cool, wonderful. So I'll let that go. Now what I want to do is I want to keep my momentum going and keep moving towards your goal. It's okay. It's okay to be human. It's okay to be perfect. It's okay to be imperfectly perfect. What I'm saying is be at cause. Take ownership of your life and not blame. Do not blame things outside of yourself. Do not blame yourself for not hitting the things you need to hit. Keep moving. If you don't hit the weight, that's okay. Keep going forward. If your business doesn't hit the target it needs to hit, it's okay. Keep moving forward. The places where people get stuck are by not getting their goal and then being like, well, that's it. I give up. Don't give up. Don't give up on life, and don't give up on yourself. Keep moving towards the things you want to achieve. And then your focus. Now, one interesting thing I want to note about focus, if you have a goal, right, and I want you to think about this, if you have a goal where you want to move towards something in life, and let's just say, for example, it's health, and you have that goal set, and that goal isn't as you want it. So I'm not going to put a goal out into my future saying, I don't want to be fat. I'm not going to put a goal out into my future saying, you know what? I don't want to eat fat food. That's my goal. I don't want to eat fat food. Make it towards something that you want. We're going to go through this in more detail later, and this is crucial, but I want to give you this distinction now. Make it towards what you want. Don't make it moving in the direction of the things that you don't want. So I'm not going to put a goal in my future that is Okay, I don't want to be fat. So then every time I think about my goal, remember that evidence procedure. How do you know we have it? All I'm thinking about is a picture of me being fat. Or maybe not being fat, but then what? I'm still saying fat. Don't confuse yourself. Your words are still powerful. Your words are powerful. So your goal is towards the things that you want. So make sure it's moving towards what you want. Now we're just about done. Just want to tie this up with a couple more things. Your focus is towards what you want. Very powerful. You're not blaming others. You're having personal power, personal ownership of what you're going through as you achieve them. As you go through these 12 weeks, I'm going to challenge you. For these 12 weeks, live a cause. Whoa, it's going to be massive. 12 weeks? Like maybe 4 days, but 12 weeks? Yes, 12 weeks. If you don't, check this out. Wear this. If you don't read your goal every morning, we don't lose out from it. You do. You're here. We humbly, so grateful that you're willing to put your time into us, that to come on a journey with us, that allowing us to come on a journey with you. The best thing you can do is get the most out of it. Guess this. Let's say you wake up one morning and you don't read your goal. It's not the end of the world. Be it ownership though. You know what? I take responsibility. I didn't read my goal. You post in the group. I'm so sorry, guys. I didn't read my goal. I didn't fail, but I've learned the lesson that tomorrow I'm going to read my goal for sure. Tomorrow you wake up and read your goal. That's ownership. That's flow. That's power. People don't understand how powerful that is. The most powerful part of your life is being able to fall down and get back up. Not just always live on a high, always live in a great place, but being able to get hit by the bus and keep moving forward. Keep pushing forward. That's where you get your power. That's where you get that fire. And that's where you create the neurology that will always move you through the hard times. We have hard times. We all have hard times. But the people who are strongest in life are the people who move through it, who keep their focus on their outcome, keep their focus on what they want. I'm going to love my partner as much as I can. I'm going to work as hard as I can in my business to be able to serve as many people as possible. He's not working hard. I love it. You're going to live your life of health. I'm going to eat the right food so I can fuel my body. It's cool. Every now and then you can eat something that tastes great. If you want to eat things that taste great, make things that taste great. Either way, live at ownership, be at cause. Focus on what you want. And just to recap, before we tie off right now, the 5 things you need to do. 1, write a goal. Post that goal. If you get feedback from that, if I feel like you need feedback, I'll give you feedback. I'll read all your goals. Number 2 is, where are you blaming in life? What are you currently doing where you're losing your personal power? So number 2, where are you losing your personal power? Write down 3 things where you're losing your personal power. Take ownership of it. Be it cause. Be it ownership. Thirdly, you want to write down 3 things that you're currently doing, 3 behaviors that you're currently doing that aren't supporting you, aren't moving you towards your goal. And then the 4th is you want to write down 3 things that you need to do instead that are moving towards your goal. See, if you want to go on a holiday, one of the things is you might need to book the holiday. One of the things is you might need to save the money. One of the things is you might have to organize time off work. One of the things is you might have to organize just the free time in general because some of us are so busy. Either way, what are the 3 things that you need to do in order to get your goal? And then lastly, you want to read that goal every morning. Every morning when you wake up, read that goal. Here's a trick. You can have more than one goal at one time. It's kind of interesting, right? We're going to work on one big goal. Although something that I want to mention is you can have more than one goal at a time. Cheers, Alex. Love that. So you can literally have, look, I wouldn't really be sitting there all morning reading goals. I'd probably chunk them up to a bigger goal. Although one of the big things is make sure you set some goals in your life that you want to achieve. I do urge that if you're in a relationship with a partner, with children, you might have a puppy, set goals, very, very much so. Set goals for them together in alignment. All right, so that's today's session. If you have any questions, make sure you post them in the Facebook group. Post them in the Facebook group and we'll get through them. We'll help you. We're here to support you. Your coaches are here. We're here to give you whatever you need to do so you can get through this because guess what? Your journey is ours. Our journey is yours. You're a projection of me. I'm a projection of you. And we all live in this world together and we shine together. And sometimes we don't shine together. But either way, whatever you feel, I feel. Whatever I feel, you feel. And the cool thing about that is we have the power of ownership over what we feel. And then in turn, what others will feel when they're around us. Eat that for end of the topic. Cool thing about it is take ownership. Be well, and I'll see you next time. All right, for everyone else, while we're here, let's go through this. So that was for the people who are watching this later. It's kind of tricky, right? All right, let's do this. Natasha, awesome. Thank you. Gail, let me go through this. Was there any questions before we tie off today? Are there any questions for my beautiful people on here that are live? I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a great time. I hope you found it insightful. And I hope you learnt some great things opening for what we're about to go through. Yes, yes, yes. Any questions? I'm just going through right now. Alex, buddy, I love it. Amazing stuff. Cheers, buddy. Insightful. Just wanted to ask above, which then had Is there a difference between audio reading of goals? So you're saying, is there a difference between listening to it or reading it? Is that right? I've recorded my goals in my voice. Yeah, recording them in your voice, definitely. Some cool things you can do, it's really cheeky, is you can actually sleep to your goals. I sleep to, for those who are into frequency and stuff, binaural beats, I sleep to frequencies. I've done that for probably the last 3 years now. And I always do that whenever I want to change what I'm currently going through, whenever I want to feel something different, I look at what I'm currently feeling. I go into I use my sensory acuity and I go into, sort of my being here, and I'll tune in. I'll be like, cool, what am I currently feeling? What do I feel like I'm missing? And then I'll listen to frequencies on that part, or I might have to do frequencies in order to be able to release some stuff. But I do a lot of that. Another cool thing is goals. Yeah, definitely. You can sleep to your goals. Just listen to them over and over again. Some of the best things that we love to hear is our own words. Although not so much our own voice. The cool thing is we get used to your voice, which you should do, because a lot of you will be going live by the end of this 12 weeks, and a lot of you have done already, which I commend you for. Awesome. The big thing there is, yeah, read them, listen to them, definitely. Big fan of, if you're going for a walk, it's great. It's great. What else? What other questions do we have? We've got 8 people here. Yeah, we've got a couple of people on. All right, what else is there? Any other questions? If there's no more questions, maybe it's right now. To get right, not getting it done. Yeah. Awesome, perfect. If there's no more questions, break it down. Yeah, if your goal, sorry, that's a good question there. If your goals are more than 12 weeks, break it into a 12-week goal. If I was working with you for a month, I'd break that down into a 1-week goal, one month goal. So your big thing is cool. If you've got a 12-month goal, 24-month goal, 10-year, 20-year goal, that's cool. Break it down into the next 12 weeks. What do you need to achieve in the next 12 weeks that will support you in moving towards your, 1-year goal, whatever goal you have? Posting the group goals, also on audio. Yep, cool, sweet. All right, wonderful. There's no more questions. Thank you so much for today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being a part of what you're about to go through. Namaste, beautiful. If there's anything you need, any questions you have, make sure you post them in the group. I will say a lot of the learnings, I'm there. I'll be scanning through it. So will the coaches. So we'll be all responding to your stuff. We've got some amazing coaches. True, I've coached a couple of them myself. Hey, we'll get some amazing coaches with amazing talents on being able to help people break through their stuff. Own your time with them. Enjoy your time with them. It won't take long. What I do ask is that when you're going through what you're going through, be it calls, if I call you and you're at effect, I'll be telling you to hang up, and I'll be telling you to contact me when you're at calls. Contact me when you're in ownership and you want to move through what you want to move through. It's a big thing in life. Train yourself. Like I say that with gratitude. Own yourself. Own who you are. If you're blaming, if you're in a place where you're like, everything is outside of me and I can't take control of it, you're not living in a place of power. You want to shift it. Utilize your coach for that. Your coach will keep you accountable. If your coach is there and you're responding with your coach in a place where you're not taking ownership of what you're going through, they're going to be there to tell you that. That's a coach's job. A coach isn't there to sit there and cuddle you through it. Although they will, if you need it, the coach is there to tell you what you need. The coach is there to ask you the right question so you can get the right result. So big thing is, make sure you're in personal power. Other than that, much love. Have a great day. Have a great week. I will see you very shortly. In the meantime, get your tasks done. And I look forward to reading them all, and I look forward to going through them and, spending some time with you all, being able to really nut this out. And you'll get an induction in the next 2 days, and that induction will be guiding you through how to put that goal into your future and literally wrap an elastic band around it so you can achieve it quicker. By the end of this session, you will know that technique inside and out, to the point where I would be saying do it every morning if you can. All right, have a lovely day, have a lovely night, depending where you are. Be well. Speak to you soon. Bye.